No one lived in the house on Black Hollow Road anymore. Not officially. It sat at the end of the street where the trees grew too close together, their branches tangling like fingers over the roof. The windows were dark, even at noon, and the paint had peeled so badly the wood beneath looked like exposed bone. People said the house had been abandoned for years, but everyone also knew that wasn't true, because sometimes the lights turned on by themselves. When the Carters moved in, they hadn't heard the stories. Or maybe they had, but stories are easy to ignore when rent is cheap and you're desperate. On the first night, nothing happened. The house creaked, but old houses always do. The wind rattled the windows. Pipes knocked inside the walls. Normal sounds. Familiar sounds. It wasn't until the second night that the house spoke. Not out loud. Not yet. At 2:17 a.m., Emma Carter woke up because someone was whispering her name. Emma. She sat straight up in bed, heart pounding. The room was dark, but she could feel it, that sense that she wasn't alone. "David?" she whispered, nudging her husband. He didn't answer. The whisper came again, closer this time. "Emma." She turned on the lamp. Nothing. No one. David snored beside her, undisturbed. The hallway outside their bedroom was empty. The house was silent. By morning, Emma convinced herself she had dreamed it. That was her first mistake. By the fourth night, the house had learned everyone's name. Their son, Lucas, heard it while playing with his toys in his room. "Lucas," the voice said softly from behind his closet door. He smiled at first. He thought it was his dad. "Dad?" No answer. The closet door slowly creaked open by itself. Inside, it was empty, except for deep scratch marks carved into the wood from the inside. Lucas screamed. They told themselves the house just needed repairs. They told themselves stress was playing tricks on them. They told themselves lies. The voices grew bolder. They whispered from the vents, from behind mirrors, from inside the walls. They spoke in familiar voices. Emma heard her mother's voice one night, even though her mother had been dead for 6 years. "Why did you bring him here?" the voice asked softly. Emma collapsed to the floor, sobbing. David began to notice things disappearing. His keys would vanish and reappear in strange places, inside locked drawers, beneath floorboards, resting on the pillow beside him when he woke up. One night, he found muddy footprints leading from the front door straight into the basement. The basement door was locked from the outside, from his side. The neighbors stopped making eye contact. When Emma finally cornered one woman at the mailbox and asked about the house, the woman went pale. "That place doesn't like to be empty," she whispered, "and it doesn't like to be forgotten." That night, the house stopped whispering. It started talking. At exactly 3 a.m., every door in the house slammed shut at once. The lights flickered, then died. A deep, slow breathing sound filled the walls. The voice came from everywhere at once. "We remember you." The temperature dropped so fast, Emma could see her breath. Lucas screamed from his bedroom. When they reached him, the walls were bleeding. Not dripping, seeping, as if the house itself were wounded. Words carved themselves into the paint above Lucas's bed. "Stay." David grabbed his son. The floor beneath them shifted. The hallway stretched longer, like the house was pulling itself apart. or growing. Doors appeared where there hadn't been doors before. Windows showed rooms that didn't exist. From behind them came footsteps, heavy, slow, deliberate. Something moved inside the walls, pressing outward, forming shapes that looked like faces screaming silently through the plaster. "You can't leave," the house said calmly. "You're part of us now." They reached the front door. David turned the knob. It wouldn't move. The house laughed, not loud but satisfied. From the ceiling, dozens of hands pushed through the drywall, fingers snapping and bending the wrong way as they reached down. Emma felt something grab her ankle. Cold. Too many fingers. She kicked free and screamed, and suddenly the door burst open. They ran. They never looked back. The Carters survived. They told the police. The house was investigated. Empty. Perfectly normal. No blood, no scratches, no hidden rooms. Just an old, quiet house. 3 weeks later, a new family moved in. On the first night, nothing happened. On the second night, a little girl woke up at 2:17 a.m. She heard a voice whisper from the dark, "Emily." And the house smiled. Thanks for watching Names in the Walls. And for more scary stories with us, please subscribe and like this video.